And welcome to another episode of Between the Posts. I'm TJ, joined by our Div 4 expert analyst, Kalan Knox. Welcome, mate.
Thank you, TJ, for having me.
Double K now. It's a beautiful Sunday here, Sunday afternoon, 24 degrees. But the smile on your face can't be white because you're not just our Div 4 analyst, you're a Div 5 specialist because you're playing in Colonel Light Gardens. How did it go yesterday?
An amazing win for the Mighty Lions down at the Mitcham Oval. Nail-biting, some may say. Yes, it was a very good win.
Any truth to rumour your kick goal of the year?
I won't confirm or deny, but leaning more confirm.
Yeah, no, beautifully done, mate. And well done. The Lions are just flying beautifully in Div 5. We'll touch on them in one of our great segments like What Caught Our Eye. Of course, we've got my wrap, the Division 1 wrap. We're going to have the Division 4 wrap. We've got the Division 1 women's wrap. We've got so much more. The Farmers Elite Coach of the Week, the Goals and Marks of the Week. How good have some of those been? Oh, Zachy Smith this week. You're seeing him pop up everywhere. But I'll tell you what, mate. I'm that happy with how you've been travelling. Do you know what I'm going to give you? I'm going to give you a new pair of Archie songs, one of our great sponsors. Now, we have so many amazing sponsors. You're going to see a couple of photos flash up now. I was on the Gold Coast in Queensland. How good are they? Mate, they hug to your foot right there, light as a feather. They're not the double banger like the old songs. Some photos of me in Queensland recently in the mall at Tea Tree Plaza. You can get them anywhere now. Do your foot a favour. Trust me, they are great. Of course, we've got a whole range. You can put them down now, mate. They're yours to keep.
Thank you.
We've got a whole range of tremendous sponsors who'll be flashing up on the screen as I speak. And I'm really looking forward. I'm loving having the experts in and having the segment What Caught Our Eye, where we look at the 7 divisions around the league. There are some great games this week, mate. Stick with us for the whole show, won't you?
Of course I will, TJ.
Beautifully. We'll be back with more Between the Posts after this sponsorship message. Welcome back to Between the Posts, Division 1 wrap time, looking at round 3, previewing round 4, and 3 upsets this week. 1 I saw coming, 2 I certainly didn't. So some huge results. Now the round was split into ANZAC Day Thursday and Saturday. So the first one was our stream team game on the Thursday, and it was a huge game. Down at Largs Bay, everyone thought Port, who's ever going to stop them? I'll tell you who's going to stop them, Glenunga. Port District 8-9-57, Glenunga 15-11-101. 44 points to the good in the favour of the Rams. Oh, best on ground, the man in footage will be, I think you've seen him before, the throw's gone, but the skills and ability aren't. Abe Davis, 25 kicks, 10 handballs. That's 35 for those of you not good at mathematics. 2 goals, 4 tackles, 4 marks, 9 clearances, 5 hit-outs. He was a dominant beast in the game and the difference in the team. I'm starting to subscribe just how important one person can be to a team. He absolutely got them going. Goal kickers for Port, Nisco in his milestone game, I think it was his 150th kick too, and the Hef kicked a brace as well. While Sammy Parsons in a new roll-up forward kicked 4. Again, just speaking to the Nathan Grimer, every soldier has a role and they do it and they play it so well. Let's have a look at some of the Dartfish stats and analytics. And look, again, with Glenunga, because they're a long-kicking team and they take the grass, the stats don't always tell stories, but disposals, they had 18 more on the day. It was the clearances where they really got a hold of them, 16. Again, 9 of those to Abe Davis. And the inside 50s, 50-36. Getting it in there in repeat stoppages, well coached, well executed. Just some better players for Port, who obviously Port didn't win. They're not going to get the whole list of awards, but Rose did a good job with 25, Louis Sharrod 24, and Sam Gray 21 touches. All contributed well. Let's look at some of these awards. The Moseley Voucher Best Team Man for those 4 goals was Sam Parsons, as we have a look at his pretty head right now, the ex-North boy. The Neo North Mouthguard Play of the Day. Now this one's so good I'm going to stop, I'm going to pause, and let's have a look at Zach Smith's hanger.
Only taken 1 for the match.
So, District's kick. Down the east. There's a fly! Who took that? Because I got a mouthguard for you.
That's Smith, number 4, Zach Smith.
Well worth a look, and thanks to Hugo doing great things. The best on ground New Balance Belgravia, Archie's Thongs, Dartfish Beanie, he won it all, Abe Davis. This guy needs some new feet. He's got that many pairs of thongs, but he's the kind of guy who gives them out to the other guys at the club. Well done to Abe on a great day. Interesting to note, the only other player who got more than 20 touches for Glenunga was Tully Kennett, the vice-captain, with 22. Other good players included Charlie Pridham, a recruit from Goodwood Saints, former Bays and Westies junior. Little left footer, diminutive little left footer, he's a ripper, had 15. And with just 4 touches in the best players, and this speaks to what I've been really humming on about this, so Jesse Temmie, play your role, we win the game, and that's what he did. The commentators' feedback and final comments about the game. GFs, and obviously I went back and watched the game because the stream team footage is good. It's real good. I'm not on it, but it was good. Phil, Adam, and the new young fella, Goldie, I think it is, loved it. 2 goals, first 2-5 of the game went to GFC. Port then kicked 3, and you thought, okay, here we go. Here's the contest we thought we'd get. The Port forward line, though, they misfired, and it was pretty obvious Scotty Lysette, 5-day break, was carrying a bit of an injury, and that hurt them. So well done to the big Glenunga ruckman. I think it's Westy, who certainly did his job. Again, the Rams, how well drilled they are, just dangerous as ever. Their structures are, well, they're the best in the league at the moment, and it's reaping benefits. Let's look at our Roll the Dice Player of the Year awards. I've mentioned them all already. Sam Parsons was for his 4 goals. Zach Smith was unbelievable with 16 touches, 6 marks, and that one big hanger. And Abe Davis, best on ground. The thing that stood out for me, as an ex-Glenunga coach in 2022, I coached the B grade there. 8 of that B grade are playing A grade. It's not all about the big name recruits. It's about developing the youngsters, having a strong junior program. At the moment, they're connected, they're double blue, and they're dangerous. Well done, Glenunga. Good win. All right, the next one was the other Anzac Day game. I was at this one with Vince Cosme. One of the most enjoyable games I've ever commentated, just being at Anzac Day. And well done to Broadview on everything you did. I thought I had it here. I had that booklets and brochures with all their sponsors and details. The Tired Tigers are there. The new $28 million, I change the figure every time, $28 million pavilion, the media centre. A better day couldn't have been had. It was wonderful. And especially for the Tigers, 14-11-95, PAC 7-9-51, a 44-point win. There's a man I want you to have a look at. His name is number 9, Gibson Turner, because he took home all the awards. And once again, I'm going to pause so you can have a look at, well, some idiotic commentary, but hopefully it does justice to just how good the Jag Meatworks goal of the day was. Boris holds his feet. Well done. Turner at ground level. Danger, danger. The danger is real. The danger is real. It's Gibson bloody Turner. High five.
It has to be.
Now I'm calling it. I'm calling it. If ever we've seen it, that's your Jag Meatworks goal of the day. And speaking of goal kickers, it was Gibson Turner with 5, and the big rig Kobe Russell also with 5. So it was again a great day to be at. Had a lot of conversations with Matt Burgess pre and post game, and it's interesting how you see the game differently. But we certainly connected on certain things that happened. I probably downplayed how good Tyron Hill's game was. He was named best at the club. Might have been his rat's tail that threw me. He was very good. If he could just clean up his ball usage, he'd be absolutely elite. Ben Manning, very good. Kane Flanagan, very good. Stephen Jackson's first half, he has got a left foot. It's just, I don't know, to quote a great commentator who once used a ridiculous word, it is delicious. His left foot it's sublime. For PAC, better players. I thought Tommy Sumner beat John Boris on the day. Bosner still bobbed up with 2, but Sumner was outstanding. Tyson Brazel had to actually play, saw him across half back and in the middle at times. Very good. And Garrels, I thought, was probably their best midfielder. Certainly had an impact and hit the scoreboard. Broadview were great, and they still have 10 players to come back in. Now, no disrespect to the 10 players that were in there because you all played your role and did your job, but names like Tahana, Daniele, the Wiz Byrne, O'Leary, Jesse White, Elix Day. I could go on and on. There is some real quality to come back into that lineup, and they are only going to get better and better, especially in the back half of the year. Xavier Gotch, Nick Little, told you I could go on. Broadview kicked the first 3 goals of the game, and that was huge. If Broadview hadn't won, they would have been 0-3. They had to have a good start, and they did. And I felt that was off the back of Cholan Yang in the middle. I thought he controlled the rucks. The Broadies facility, the day, the people was amazing. Humbled to be part of Anzac Day is the other note I've got. I just can't stress enough what it's like. The kids, all the kids had training at night, so they're all at the ground. It was a huge crowd, having a great atmosphere. Let's get on to our Roll the Dice Player of the Year. 1 vote to that man, Cholan Yang in ruck. 2 votes to Ethan Smith, Bald-headed teenager superstar in and under, little battering ram, great game. And Gibson Turner, we've already mentioned a fair bit. Well done on your best on-ground Jag Meatworks goal of the day and Archie Songs. Let's move on to the next one now. This is first of our Saturday games. PNU at home taking on Tea Tree Gully. PNU 9-10-64. It was the Gullies 14-16-100 getting their first win of the year, courtesy of a 36-point win. Interestingly enough, it was 36 points at quarter time. 7-2 to 1-2 from memory. Best on ground or player in footage is Chris Olsen, number 2 from Tea Tree Gully. Major goal kickers for PNU, it was Jack Hodges with a brace, whilst Tyler West was the focal point up forward that proved crucial for Tea Tree Gully. He kicked 5. That's 2 very strong weeks in a row for Tea Tree Gully, and write them off at your own peril. Well coached. The list is still very good. They're an exciting team to watch. Well done on a good win. Other bit of players that didn't get in the votes for Tea Tree Gully was Spence and Verrill, whilst the PNU, Nunn and Catalano were the standouts. Essentially, the commentators' notes are that Tea Tree Gully were cleaner and they hit their targets. Having West up forward meant they could funnel the ball in and they sort of controlled the structure of the game. It looked or felt like to the commentators that Tea Tree Gully always had a spare behind the ball, which allowed them to curtail the pain of forward movement and control the game. Let's look at the votes. Probably not surprisingly, they are all Tea Tree Gully. 1 vote to Chris Howard, 2 votes to James White, and the man you've already looked at, Chris Olsen, best on ground. All right, our next one is the upset that I'm not sure too many people would have picked. It was Brighton, beating Golden Grove at Brighton. 9-7-61, Golden Grove 7-16-58. A 3-point win. Now you know what's coming. I know everyone knows what's coming. If you watch me each week, I've been talking about it non-stop. Brighton with the worst kicking efficiency last year. Twice this year, if they had have kicked their points, more goals than points, they would have won. Well, they've done it this time round. 9-7-61 gets the chocolates. It's Golden Grove that are inaccurate this time. 23 scoring shots to 16, but it doesn't matter. They've had a win and anything can happen from here. A lot of it was on the back of the big man. They've moved him up forward this year. Mouse told me about this in the pre-season. It's been a great move by coach Brett Backwell. Number 48, Will Rivers, Dartfish beanie and Archie Songs for him on the back of his 5 goals. A beautiful effort indeed. For Golden Grove, it was Tomney and Slater both kicking 2. But other really good players for Brighton included Otis Carthy, the captain, and that man, the Oz, Nigel Osborne. He seems to be in the best players every week because he's just a very good footballer. For Golden Grove, Thacker, Dodd and Borg had a crack. Just some of the notes on the game. At quarter time, it was Brighton 1-4, Golden Grove 4-3. Brighton not kicking straight. From there, they kick 7 goals 3 to 3 goals 13. And they get the chocolates. So 8 goals 3 to 3 goals 13. They get the chocolates. Well done, Brighton. They found their accuracy and they found a win. All right, let's have a look at some of the Dartfish stats because there are stats available for this game. And there's some interesting ones. So with Brighton and Golden Grove, the inside 50s, Golden Grove 14 more inside 50s, 53 to 39. Marks, Brighton having 16 more, 84 to 66. So that's 18 more. Stoppage clearances, 7 more to Brighton. And the turnovers, very high turnover rate in this game, 69 to 62. Also, the other thing we've got on Dartfish, stats and analytics, it's amazing. You've just got to get into the system and have a look. There's a heat map there. You can track it. You can track players. You can track it all. Certainly give your club the Dartfish advantage in filming footy. We're filming it. We're analysing it. We go into the minutiae of it within an inch of its life, and it's all there for you to dissect and help you with your analytics. All right, votes is the only thing I need to do here to close this one out. 1 vote for Justin Evans for his game in defence. It was fantastic. Very strong defensive player. Behind the ball was Jarman Segal. Again, he's a high-flying young footballer. Exciting to watch. Believe he's a top-up player. Him being at Brighton obviously makes them all the more stronger. And Will Rivers closing out the votes with a BOG performance. Our next one was the Intercol Classic, St Peter's versus Shock at Caterer. It was 9-5-57 to St Peter's, falling to Sacred Heart 11-8-74. The player in footage is number 43 from the Shockers, Darcy Lecornu. As we have a look at the way he went about it, probably the key stat for Darcy, 5 of the best, 5 of 11, a fantastic effort. For Spocky, it was Carruthers and the Heartbreak Kid, Nick Michaels, with 2 goals. Better players for Sacred Heart, McAuliffe and young Ben Dewhurst. Good to see young Dewey, little left footer I used to coach in the best players, whilst the Spock, Benny Balperio, and super consistent Jimmy Higgins in there as well. 3 quick goals to open the game, and then Shock basically had control of the game. Spock kicked 6 goals to 2 in the third quarter, just to rattle the cage a little bit and give them a scare, but in the end, Shock were able to squeeze them around the contest. Slingshot probably better than Spock could, and probably had control of the game with a good 17-point win. Votes from Spockies, Nick McGill was fantastic for 1. Cranky Rankin, Cam Rankin, 2 for Shockers, and that man, Darcy Lacornu, BOG with the 3. Leading the Roll the Dice Player of the Year, trying to go back-to-back on 6 votes, is Abe Davis, courtesy of 2 Best on Grounds, whilst Joey Haynes from Port District has 5 votes. I think you'll see those 2 gentlemen up there for the entirety of the year. Okay, Hugo, my friend, could you please overlay the ladder for me, which now makes some interesting reading. We've got 2 undefeated teams at the top in Glenunga and Sacred Heart on 65 and 55% respectively. So really, Glenunga clearing out with percentage and wins early. Banking those early wins is crucial. Then it evens right out with 2 teams on 2 and 1 and 5 teams on 1 and 2. So Port District have had a loss. PAC have had a loss. The worrying thing for PAC is their percentage is already down to 47% with that loss. Percentage is crucial. We saw percentage decide relegation and finals last year in the last quarter of the round 18. So don't think it doesn't matter, because it does. Tea Tree Gully 1 and 2 squeeze into the 5, and their last 2 weeks they deserve to be there. PNU, Golden Grove. Golden Grove just starting to find out that you can't have off days in Div 1, and if you're not at your best, you lose games of footy. Kick 7-16, you won't beat anyone in Division 1. And Broadies 1 and 2, that's the most dangerous team I've seen at 1 and 2, sitting in 9th place. And Spock, desperate for that first win, competitive all 3 games, but yet to trouble the scorers. Will they do it this week as we look at this week's games and they head to PNU? I'll tell you what, they just might. They just might. I reckon this one will be a nice, close, hard-fought contest. I'll go with the Falcons to bounce back at home. They wouldn't want to lose 2 home games in a row. The next one for me, I haven't said it this year, so I'm going to say it. Harder to pick than a broken nose. It's the hardest game to pick of the round. It's Golden Grove and Broadies at Golden Grove. 2 teams littered with talents. I believe the fact that Port and the Crows play on Thursday night should help the 4 or 5 top-up players being able to play for Broadies this week. That will be crucial in what decides this. I'm going to take Broadies because I think they've started to roll. Wouldn't be surprised if Golden Grove got the chocolates though. Our next one is Sacred Heart and Brighton in the Derby. These 2 teams have got to jump in the car for the 4-minute trip to get to the opposition. I think Sacred Heart undefeated will be too strong. Tea Tree Gully and Glenunga. Again, this one might be a lot closer than people think. It's at Pertaringa. You've only got to go back about 24 games to round 14, 2022, and Tea Tree Gully knocked off Glenunga when they were really on a roll. So Tea Tree Gully and Justin Machota, they've got ideas, they've got plans, and it will be a really, really good game of footy. Looking forward to getting home from my duties and having a look at this one on the stream. I'll take Glenunga because they're undefeated, and it's always silly to tip against undefeated teams. And our last one, the 2022 Grand Final rematch, PAC versus Port. I think we'll see a similar result. I expect Port to bounce back against PAC. This has been the Division 1 report. Stay with us for more Between the Posts.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
I'm Bec Northcott and welcome to the Adelaide Footy League Division 1 Women's Wrap. Round 3 has come and gone with another 3 awesome games, and the ladder is starting to take shape. It was good to see clubs celebrating ANZAC Round, a little added element to the matches from this round, and good to see clubs getting involved across all divisions. Now, let's get into it. Game 1 was one I was looking forward to all week. I was updating the scores, trying to see what happened in this one. Goodwood Saints and Morphettville Park faced off at Kellett Reserve on Saturday. Goodwood remaining in absolutely hot form, moving to 3-0. Goodwood 4-18-42 defeated Morphettville Park 2-6-18. So a 24-point win to the Saints. a game which was really looming as a test for the newly promoted Goodwood Saints. Playing against the well-established, we know what they've done, we've seen all the premierships they've got, so the well-established Morphettville Park. And Goodwood absolutely rose to the occasion and have truly made their mark in Division 1. The first 3 quarters proved a close affair, with Goodwood leading at every break, but only by margins of 4, 3 and 7 points before breaking away in the fourth to score 4 goals 5 and leaving Morphettville Park scoreless. For Morphettville Park, consistent performer Cammy Williams won the best on ground for the Roos, and goal scorers were Sophie Hoyle and Elizabeth Probyn Shingles. For Goodwood Saints, well, Madeline Griffiths, she's on an absolute roll. She's made it 3 from 3 best on ground performances. So she's on an absolute heater at the moment, and maybe we could expect to see her up there in the votes for the Dutchke medal when we see that come at the end of the season. She kicked 2 goals in the win and was backed up by singles from Elena Seagate and Emma White. So well done, Madeline Griffiths. I can't wait to see how you carry on for the rest of the season. And if you keep doing what you're doing and leading the Goodwood Saints this way, they're pretty much going to be unstoppable. And their train has just well and truly left the station for the Goodwood Saints, who are clearly right at home in Division 1. As I said, they're still undefeated. For Morphettville Park, well, they're still on the lookout for their first win of the season. And really, this has taken me by surprise that they are yet to win a game. However, I think they can take a bit from that game against the Goodwood Saints. They're playing, the informed team in the competition, but kept fairly level with them for the first 3 quarters of the game, only really losing it in the last one. In Game 2 of the weekend, Henley scored a 20-point win over Golden Grove. Henley Sharks 7-12-54 defeated Golden Grove 5-4-34. Henley are also just going about this season very nicely, as they also cruise to 3 straight wins. If anything, Henley could have put this score really beyond doubt, being a little bit inaccurate in front of goal with those 12 behinds. Tegan Cordes was judged best on in her first game back at Henley, coming off a strong season at North Adelaide in the Development League. Another Sandful W development star in Georgie Blades had a day out in front of goals, kicking 4 of the 7 goals for the Sharks. She was well supported by Elliot Fixter with 2 and Kaylee May with 1. Golden Grove, well, it's exciting for them to have their first home Division 1 game, which I think is still something worth celebrating. I think they will continue working hard and just finding their way in Division 1, and I have no doubt a win will be coming their way very soon. Henley, well, they're just rolling along nicely, as I said, and they continue to build on their strong season last year where they started in Division 1. But they're making an awesome start, and I hope that this can carry on for them throughout the season. In the final matchup of the round, Broadview lined up against Smosh in a Saturday night affair at Smosh West Lakes. Broadview 11-11-77 defeated Smosh 2-1-13. Taking out a 60-point win were Broadview. This was also the first win of the season for Broadview, so good to see them get the points on the board. Now, as part of ANZAC Round, Broadview award the Jack Treadray Medal to the most courageous player on the ground, and they do this across all grades. So this was won by Amy Jones in the Division 1 team, and by Kelly's Jackson North in the reserves. It's great to see clubs having these traditions to honour Anzac Day, and I really like how this follows through to all parts of the club, not just the men's. So well done to Broadview on getting the win, and they also got the double with getting the win in the reserves as well. Whilst Smosh didn't get the win and are still searching for their first premiership points of the season, I was really delighted to see a good post on social media from Smosh about the 3 Gooley sisters all taking the field together in Division 1 for their first A-grade game together. So well done to Astrid, Asher and Imogen Gooley, with Astrid even scoring a goal and getting the best on ground. This is awesome to see, and one of the things that I love about women's footy, got that real family element, and it's really exciting to see that celebrated with all three sisters playing together. Now, whilst it's still early days for the ladder, as there's a bye in the league, so it can, take a while to take shape, there's probably 3 front runners at the moment for me, and they are the teams that are yet to drop a game in Goodwood, Henley and also Payneham, who are coming off the bye. It will be interesting to see how the ladder continues to take shape, and who's really going to come up and challenge those 3 teams at the moment out of Broadview, Golden Grove, Smosh and Morpheville Park. Having a quick look to next week, Broadview and Payneham will face off at Broadview. Goodwood and Golden Grove will clash at Goodwood Oval, a battle of the promoted teams there and a bit of a grand final rematch to come there. Smosh and Morpheville Park will face off, and they're both looking for their first win. So someone's going to get some premiership points next week in that game. Henley will also have the bye, so they'll get a well-earned rest. As I said, they're sitting 3 and zip, so good chance to recharge and just carry on with their season the week after. Now, my pick for this week from outside of Division 1 is what caught my eye in Division 4. Mitcham player Sarah Kirsanovs, the captain of the team, she kicked 6 goals in her team's 91-point win over Fitzroy. Absolutely go and get it, Sarah. Well done. Keep kicking those goals up forward. It's awesome to see. Like I said last week, I'll try and bring you something from outside of Division 1 every week that I think's worth celebrating. Now, be sure to come back here next week for all the latest updates on the Adelaide Footy League Division 1 women's competition. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome back to Between the Post, and it's time for our Farmers Leap Coach of the Week. Thanks to our great sponsors of this segment and the show. Now, it is a Division 3 coach this week, so the Coach of the Week has been selected by our Division 3 expert, Tim Pilliam, and it goes to Coach of the Seaton Ramblers, Darren Mead. So, great choice by Tim. They've started the season on fire with 2 wins and 1 draw. Interestingly enough, because of the clubroom development, they need to play their first 8 games away, which would suggest they're going to come home very strong in the back half of the year. They currently sit 3rd. Meady's coming as a new coach to the club. They're set up incredibly well structurally. Not a huge amount of recruits, but some good recruits to the club as well. I had the opportunity to check out Darren and the Seaton Football Club in a pre-season trial, and they are very well connected, and they look like they're going to be right in the mix, as I've mentioned a few times this year. They've got a huge game coming up this week against North Haven at North Haven, and they will be really, really going all guns blazing to see if they can move into 2nd position. Congratulations to Darren Mead, a name well known to the South Australian football public. You are Farmers Leap Coach of the Week. Welcome back. TJ here with Double K, Kalan Knox, and it is time. He's invited me to stay, which I appreciate, for the Division 4 expert analysis.
Division 4, wow, TJ. The ladder, it seems to really start to shape up already. It's only round 3, but it does feel like a tight division to me. And I think the big headline, how good are Kilburn tracking? Going onto the ladder right now, working down from the bottom, Gazer, obviously, the point deduction, it doesn't help at all.
It's going to be tough from there.
Oh, it will be very tough. But the performances haven't been great at the moment. Moving up to Jeps Cross. To me, TJ, they doesn't feel like 0-3. I mean, round 1 against Hectorville, they were up by as much as 43 points at one stage to the third place Hounds before Hectorville. That they clawed their way back. Round 2.
That's a great stat. That one. That really it does show that they've got still got good footy in them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, round 2, it's similar. They came back from a fair margin to the top of the table, Kilburn, to only narrowly lose by 13 points. I mean, round 3, they got beaten pretty convincingly by Kenilworth by 21 points. So they seem to be around the mark, but just not being able to win at the moment. Walkerville...
Cats are back.
The Cats are back. They were a bit shaky in their first 2 rounds with an 102-point loss against Plimpton in round 2. But they bounced back terrifically, TJ. They got a good win against Paraka. Moving on to Paraka, ironically. They couldn't have asked for a better start to the season with a 44-point win against Morphettville Park, then a 32-point loss against the Dragons in round 2, and then a 30-point loss, like we said before, against Walkerville. Morphies, they started the season with a loss to Paraka, as we just stated, followed up with a huge percentage boost against Gazer, and then a 39-point loss to the league leaders Kilburn. Kenilworth, they had a good round 1 win against Walkerville, a narrow loss to the Hounds in round 2, and a fantastic win against Jeps Cross in round 3. Westminster Old Scholars, the Dragons. They didn't have the best start with a loss in round 1. They bounced back immediately, however. 2 wins against Paraka, and then a huge 204-point win against Gazer.
That'll get the job done.
Most definitely. Heckies, the ideal start to open their account. Come from behind win against Jeps Cross. Another good win against Kenilworth. And then that nail-biting draw against the Doggies. How about that,
second draw of the year. We'll talk more. I think you might have a bit more on that. But
might have a bit more on that. But Plimpton, round 1, ideal against the Dragons. A 102-point win against Walkerville. And then round 3, the draw, which can only be due to terrible goal, actually. 6 goals, 20, TJ. It's not ideal.
No, not at all.
Not at all. And then Kilburn, the number 1 seed, the league leaders. They dispatched Gazer, a close call against Jeps Cross, and a comfortable win against Morphies. TJ, I know it's early days, but Kilburn are proving that even though they are the newly promoted team, they are well and truly not to be messed with.
Yeah, everyone thought Kilburn, their 100th year, they'll shine 101st year back to the Kilburn of old, but it's not the case. They're still going great. And I look at the opposite ends of the table, Gazer and Kilburn, and they've actually done a 180. They've had a sliding doors moment. Let's not forget, it's not that long ago, Gazer Division 1 premiers. Obviously, they've gone through some really tough times. Kilburn potentially, as recently as 8-9 years ago, potentially going to fold, and now they're flying high. Now, I know you're a huge fan of the show and you like to watch a little bit of Tommy Javor, but you watched last week and you like what Timmy did with his home and away statistics. I think you've had a little bit of we'll call it a shallow dive into that pool.
I think it'd be rude for me not to at least carry out the tradition on behalf of Tim. So in round 1, 4 out of the 5, the home team won. Round 2, 3 out of the 5, the home team won. And in round 3, 2 out of the 5, the home team won, with a draw being there as well. So 9 out of 15 in Division 4, with 60% of the time the home team is winning. So a big shout out to you, Tim.
Yes, beautifully done. Anything else in Div 4, mate?
So the top 3 largest points averaged thus far this season. We have Kilburn with an average of 124.6 points, Westminster Old Scholars with an average of 120.6 points, and Plimpton with an average of 103 points. TJ, it's showcasing that there's a lot of goals, a lot of snags on offer in the division.
Exciting for the fans to watch, mate.
Oh,
and
very
exciting
much.
For mathematics like me. I love good stats. So that's
we are
beautifully
loving
done.
it, aren't we?
Yep.
And finally, the goal kickers. Corey Sully from Kilburn, 17 snags already in 3 games. That is
He's actually just on course for the 100 exactly, currently going at 6.33 games.
Century raised the
Or
bat.
whatever it is. What's he on, 17 goals a game?
17 goals at the moment.
Yeah, with finals included, that's more than 5 goals a game. That's 5.67 goals a game. You could see him getting to 113, 114 if he stays consistent.
The mathematician, TJ, we love that. Jack Goodman-Glasson from Hectorville with the 13 snags. And apologies if I get this name wrong, Giuseppe Nerter from Kenilworth with the 11 snags.
We'll start with a G.
It does.
I think it's Giuseppe.
Giuseppe. I like it. I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the wrap for Division 4.
Mate, that was outstanding. Thank you for your analysis and the work you do behind the scenes. We'll be back with more Between the Posts after this. Welcome back. Well, based on statistics, this is our most popular segment every week. It's time for the goals and marks of the week. Boris holds his feet, well done. Turner at ground level, danger, danger. The danger is real. The danger is real! It's Gibson bloody Turner! High five!
It has to be.
Now, I'm calling it. I'm calling it. If
That's
ever
it.
you've seen it, that's your Jag Meatworks goal of the day.
Ball's not coming out, now it comes out to Petrie Gully, a snap off the boot, and it's through for a goal out of nothing. Looked like there was going to be a ball.
District's kick. Down there. There's a fly! Who took that? Because I got a mouth guard for you.
That's Smith.
On the edge of the 50s, somewhere around there. He strikes it well, but I don't think it's going to get the journey. Oh, and that is a huge hanger! Bianco!
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
And it's time now for What Caught Our Eye. Segment's becoming quite popular because we cover all 7 divisions and it gives all the clubs out there to perhaps feature on Between the Posts. Now, I don't give my co-hosts any, all I say is just find me something that caught our eye, your eye, and we just roll with it, mate. So I'll start off, and I'll start in Division 7. Really interesting that in round 4 coming up, this caught my eye, the 4 North teams play the 4 South teams, and there is some serious travel. We're talking places like Smithfield and Brahma Lodge, all the way out to Hackham, O'Sullivan's Beach, Lonsdale. They all play each other. As I mentioned earlier in this segment a couple weeks ago, Para Hills and O'Sullivan's Beach, both 3-0 on 80% and 70% respectively. And then, in what I think is a great statistical anomaly, all other 6 teams have already had a win, are all on 1 and 2. So it's going to be an interesting comp. What caught your eye?
In Division 7, I found that it caught my eye that Mitchell Park, they were down at three-quarter time. They won an all-time classic against Smithfield by just a 4-point margin. Agonisingly close, nail-biting, if you will, TJ. That's what caught my eye.
Beautifully done, and that's Smithfield's second game decided by 4 points or less. In Division 6, I'll tell you what caught my eye, and not just caught my eye, or our eye, it made me really, really proud to live in the suburb of Ingle Farm. And that was Ingle Farm versus Salisbury on ANZAC Day. Ingle Farm just went down by 2 goals in the closest game of the round to Salisbury, who look they're taking all before them. And of course, the Eastern Park 171-point win over Lutheran with Chris Knapp kicking another 15 to take his total to 42. That obviously clearly caught my eye, but I'm sorry, I love my Div 6. Something else caught my eye even more on the ANZAC Day theme, as probably most people know I'm a big supporter of it. And that was being at the Elizabeth RSL on ANZAC Day dawn service and seeing the Eastern Park boys there. I've snapped a photo with Nappy and the coach Anton. Well done, boys. It's not just what you do on the field, it's what you do off the field. See the boys galvanised, supporting the local RSL, outstanding by the Demons. They were on the old froth dogs by about 7:30 as well, just hydrating for Saturday's game. But well done, boys. That didn't just catch my eye, made me proud.
Can you guess what caught my eye, TJ?
I sure can, because we've had 3 outtakes. It was Houghton Districts.
It was, in fact, Houghton Districts. They kicked a whopping 45 snags with a big shout-out to the skipper, Jake Martin, with a lazy day out, TJ. Just the 16 snags. 16. That is not a bad effort. I can see why that caught your eye. Tell you what caught our eye in Div 5. The Mighty Lions, Colonel Light Gardens, Kai Dean, former Glenelg junior, very good junior at Glenelg, best on ground. Old Big Ed Hutchins kicking 4, and Kalan Knox, just a sneaky snag himself. That caught my eye. Thank you, TJ. Thank you very much. The same, the Mighty Lions winning the local derby, as they call it, by 13 points, and they won back the Ellis Murray Shield. Beautiful. Well done, boys. Division 4, what caught our eye, mine in particular, was the second draw of the year. It was at Plympton, but it wasn't just the fact that it was a draw, it was the scoreline. Plympton had kicked 1 goal 14 at half time, ended up on 6-20. The actual second half goal kicking wasn't too bad, but 1-14 at half time. You probably don't deserve to win, but they managed to sneak a draw. Hecky Hound's a lot more accurate with 8-8. Mine is the same, TJ, the draw. Heckies and Plympton, obviously, just following the lead of the Pies and Dons in the ANZAC Day round, delivering the division's draw. Yeah, good round to have a draw, I think. In round 3, and it's hard not to, I don't know if it's nepotism, but it's hard not to follow your fellow colleagues. But Henley by 167 points, and Tom Pillion, son of the great Tim, we're going to leave that in because that's funny, kicking 10. Match of the round, North Haven versus Seaton is coming up this week. I think we're going to find out who might play Henley in the grand final. Very interesting, TJ. A similar route I followed. Henley cracking that 200 barrier well and truly, putting them in a position to be slung back up into Division 2. Yep. Speaking of Division 2, what caught my eye is the ladder. Salisbury North sit alone on top with 3-0. As predicted at the start of the year, we had some 6 teams on 2-1, 3 teams on 0-3, and a beautiful game of football between Matty Knights Athelston and Goodwood Saints going down, and just in the last death knell, Goodwood pinching that one. I feel like a bit of a broken record at this point, TJ. I'm following you once again. Great game of the round, Athelston and Goody Saints. It did not disappoint at all, with the Saints just holding on to be 5-point winners. Yep. Well, you go first in Division 1, mate. Okay. And I'll follow you, maybe. Oh, you'll love this one. The Danger Man, Gibson Turner, the unreal goal of the day. Who was it called by? Oh, it was ridiculous. I put a bit of mayo on it. The goal deserved the mayo was put on it, but I got carried away. I was having fun with Vince, and check that one out in the Adelaide Footy League pages. Thanks for setting me up on that one. But the Gibson Turner goal and game was outstanding, mate. I did love that. Alongside Turner, he kicked 5 snags, helping Broadview get their first W. And he was the Jag Meatworks goal of the day, as we said. What caught my eye, and obviously I do the Div 1 report, so I don't want to go into too much. The 44-point win of Glenunga over Port District. I didn't tip him, so therefore not many people tipped him. Well done to the Rams. Maybe, just maybe, they might be a little bit better than we thought. That was what caught our eye. It's been a pleasure looking around the 7 divisions. Keep it up. Keep putting out that content that catches our eye. We love talking about it. Thanks for watching Between the Posts.
for the final time today, welcome back to Between the Post. Kalan, Double K, Fort Knox, Cow, whatever. Have you had fun?
I have had so much fun, TJ.
Now, the first thing I want to do is just thank our wonderful sponsors. We wouldn't be here without our sponsors. So I'll just get Hugo, the producer, who does an amazing job on this show, makes us look good, puts all the footage over the top of us, so you're not looking at this ugly lid. He's giving us a fist pump too. He'll run up the sponsors. But tell me, some of your content from Div 4, obviously we all have our connections at different clubs. Where are you getting some of your content and information from?
So obviously on a Saturday, I cannot obviously be there as playing. So the big Charlie Bubba Sanderson, a big shout out to you, Bubba. He supplies me with a lot of content, as both being Westminster Old Scholars ourselves. So key ins, key outs, goal scorers, just everything to do with the Dragons.
And he gets to look at all the other teams as well. So,
Exactly. So
he's your man on the inside. So well done to Big Bubba.
Yes.
I don't know if he's big or not. But tell me, let's talk about the Lion. How are things down at the Den? Who you got this week? And I mean, they're undefeated. How's it shaping up? We talking flags or what?
Bit too early for flags, but I don't hate it. This week we've got Trinity. Luckily, we're not trekking out to Trinity, playing at the Den this week. We've started quite well. Stephen Zwiecki, he said that we've progressed round 1 to round 3. We look to be progressing, so positive signs at the Den. You love to see it, TJ, don't you?
How long till Zwiecki sorts himself out and gives Lockie Reese a run in the A's? I mean, how long can it be? Give the kid a go. He's a superstar.
He must be close to an A-grade debut, mustn't he?
We love that. Love the boy. Hey, again, thank you all for watching. Thanks to all our great sponsors. It's a lot of fun filming this show, and we hope that you've enjoyed it as well. We're back next week for Star Wars Round. Why is it Star Wars Round?
May the 4th be with you.
Good luck to all clubs and teams this week.